Hey everyone, this is Tech Tips and we are talking about new MacBook Pro. I used to be happy with a magnet. That laptop was once the benchmark for a balanced power with ability price and epic battery, but its design display haven't changed for 6 long years. Now, on those years start shop who used to be best mobile computing, the world is now an outdoor. It's time for an air to air and this is it. The 1499 MacBook Pro 13-inch without is the thinnest and lightest MacBook Pro that Apple has ever made, and at first blush it looked like everything that a user have been asking for. Much nicer display and much better space without any sacrifice of probability. What Apple is great here isn't really a MacBook Air or a MacBook Pro as known for so long. With this computer represent is a professionalist. The 12-inch MacBook for last year, a Pro MacBook if you will design is a perfect match for America, right down to a metal bottom of a display grade color option and our Apple logo, and the lid that no longer illuminates. Ultra light MacBook. There are almost no ports on this new MacBook Pro. Get headphone jack on the right, to USB-C connections on the left, and that's it. This is the most drastic change Apple made to make computers in a long time, at least a tone of compromise. Want to offload picture from your camera is no so castle, so you need to want to back up your data to an external hard drive. You need an adapter, a new drive, or even plug in an iPhone requires a new cable adapter. Yes, okay, the new port Thunderbolt free, which has a gazillion gigabits of bandwidth, but that's tech of the future, not be the president. The MagSafe charger is another victim of USB-C revolution. Was handy magnetic latching being replaced by a stiff connect. It's much harder to attach and detach, and it doesn't have an LED status. Like, if you can get over the shock of losing every you put your laptop, I'm still not sure that I can. This new MacBook is a classic work of aluminium out from Apple. The Hingstrong and just glazes open and bezels around display. A teeny there stereo speaker from the new keyboard and a touchpad is downright enormous. The Limousin side touchpad may look exclusive, but I love it, and because it's for such, I can click the top of it, and in a way that can do with a mechanical switch. A MacBook Air is a keyboard has an upgrade version of the MacBook butterfly mechanism, and it really has a much better feel. I don't like it at first, and many people might never like it shall be travel, but once I stop testing the keyboard and just starting typing naturally, it's all come together nicely. The biggest upgrade with its MacBook Pro is the display, which is just stunning. The same way the Qualcomm of iPhone 7 and 5K iMac, it's look great from literally an angle. It will say it's obviously better than the preceding MacBook Pro, but it's technical terms with 67% grade contrast and 67% higher brightness. Photography will love this display. For editing, once they figure out a suitable works around for the jungle situations and approaching performing when it lets you down, there is a handlebar both Photoshop and Lightroom. Nicely, this might look like an ultra portable MacBook, but it's performed like a real pro laptop. Battery life on this new MacBook Pro doesn't ride with the S4 hours, but it doesn't leave a police claim 10 hours. I'm a writer, so my typical use may be a bit more forgiven than other professionals. However, I keep seeing a perfect match between remaining percentage and our battery life. 90% is 9 hours, 40% is 4 hours, and so on. Apple seem to have deliberately targeted 10 hours as a benchmark, but I have little to no worries about the battery last consistently long time as new. And further facing is a MacBook maybe embodies a lot of families. Apple's strength, greater industrial design and touchpad economy, reliable performance, and sort of battery life, but it's also taken away user-friendly features like SD card slot, USB port, and a Mixes charger with Windows Revolve catching a fast. And his new laptop costing $40.99 as a starting price. I'm including to give down and all the Razer shop before deciding on my MacBook Air upgrade. If if you are determined to stick with Mac OS, this new MacBook Pro is obviously obvious and easy choice for setup for Air. It's also much better and more powerful than $1299 MacBook, but even if order exists with Apple laptops, still the temptation of the more expensive MacBook Pro touch ball, which actually is something unique about it. So where does it leave this new touchless MacBook Pro? It's good, can be priced like a great one, is a future crammed into a present, but it's also the most affordable new MacBook Pro and therefore the one if any of the most used would buy. Such a beautiful design, very thin light universe lab of an Apple branded compromise. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section right below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned.